So that kind of regime, Europe will be safer, America will be safer if that regime is toppled. And for a safer America, regime change in Iran is essential.
Well,
and now we're historically very close to that. We should not leave the job unfinished. Finish the job.
Thank you. I agree. Finish the job. You know, if there's any Iranian government people, you're welcome to the stage. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But I don't think you have the balls to come up. But it's amazing to me how we know that this government right now, the IRGC, supports Hezbollah, Hamas, right, the Houthis. So it's not just about freeing the Persian people, which I hope happens, but it's also about giving some peace to that region that historically has no peace. It has to stop. Everybody's heard me say for years now, we got to have a regime change in that country for there to be even a chance of peace in that region, right? October 7th wasn't just a fluke. October 7th was because Israel was going to get recognized by Saudi Arabia. And they were like, no, we're not having that. But let me go to Sabina, and then we're gonna go popcorn style. Sabina, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I got you, Hader. Get Sabina.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, I wanted to make comments on the Trump, the pressure under Trump with the America First people. I don't know, everyone, have you seen the interview with Ted Cruz and, sorry, what's his name? Tucker
Carlson, yes.
Yes, yeah. So there's a whole group of people within MAGA who believe America first, and what I think is so confusing is that they make it seem as if America's like Sweden that had like that has been neutral in all the conflicts in the Middle East. It's been in all the conflicts and it's still in. And when not Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz actually said we. Someone got mad at him, like, oh, why are you saying we? Because he said we in terms of Israel and America together, right? And I don't understand what the American First people are trying to do, try to unwind, because Americans involved in the Middle East, it always has been. So to me, I just think it's a bit bizarre that you have this group of people and now they're attacking Tulsi because Tulsi said that she's seen intel. And by the way, people change their mind, right? Based off evidence. That's what rational people do. So if she's seen evidence that there are, development of nuclear weapons and that they can be maybe a few weeks away, right? And so she said, for that reason, I support America, getting involved now. And now people, all those people are now having a backlash. Like, this is not our war. No, it is your war because you played a role in all of these issues. There's a lot of Iranians who even blame America for putting Khomeini in power, right, during Carter's time. So that's all I want to share. I just don't think that the America First thing makes any sense. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabina. I appreciate you. So I'm going to go to Hader. Hader, I called on you 5 times already. You there?
No, I was busy. Sorry about that, man.
Hold on. Butters, you can go after Hader. Then we're going to go to Cogito. Yeah, Hader.
Yeah, look, this whole idea of regime change is really suicidal. Okay, I don't think regime change is going to work in Iran. It hasn't worked in Libya. It hasn't worked in Afghanistan. It hasn't worked in Iraq. So we already know the result of what regime change is. Now, people in the audience don't know this. Maybe some of them know, but Iran is not only Persian, right? Persian is about 60%, about 55 to 60%. You have Kurds, you have Azeris, you have Arabs, you have Malojis, you have all these other groups, right? That is beyond Shia and Sunni division in Iran. Right now, if you look at the leadership, it's kind of mixed up. So the supreme leader is actually
Hader. Let me ask you a question. It's a very, very simple question, right?
Yes.
Do you consider this regime in power right now as a murderous regime?
So I'm from the global south. So I'm gonna take the position of the Russian and Chinese government. That's the position I'm going to take. And that position is we do not want to crumble this regime and create refugee and suffering more suffering more than this region deserves, right? The Middle East is already in it's a cake basket. It's a cake basket, right? It's basket cake, whatever.
Bro, listen, man. I'm calling cap on everything you're saying. This government, well, let me finish, bro. You don't have to give me up. Well, we got the dialogue. But not only is this government murderous to its own people, they are sponsoring terrorism throughout that region. So when you say I take the side of Russia and China, man, you got to take those blinders off. This regime right here is the main problem in that region, and that's a fact. But please, Langer.
No. So what is the alternative? You see, we have to look into the alternative, right? The alternative is a lot worse than what we have right now. Okay, already Viktor Orban, the Hungarian president, already talked to Trump, and he said, you know what? I do not want refugees in my country, dude. The Europeans are not concerned about refugees, right? So they already had enough refugees from Iraq, from Libya, from Syria in the last 15, 20 years. They don't want to deal with that, right? So what the argument, especially the Russian government is making, and to some extent the many countries in the global south, right?
Let me ask you a question respectfully.
Yeah.
Do you hear what you're saying? You support Russia, a terrorist supporter. You support China. You support this IRGC. Do you hear what you're saying?
I don't support Iran. No, I don't support Iran. I think what I'm telling you is the regime is bad, which we already know is bad. But what is the alternative, man? The alternative is going to be civil war, chaos, and refugee migration. Just is going to be death and destruction. Let me
ask you. Okay, and I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to tell you why I disagree with you. That's just my opinion, right? I'm not a geopolitical expert. I'm not one of those pseudo-intellectuals. But what I know of Persian people, let me tell you something. Once this regime is topped, they're probably going to be some of the most united people on this planet because they've been through this shit for 46 years. They're not going to want chaos and civil war. They're not going to flee their country. They're going to rebuild it into the power that it should be. So everything you're saying, I disagree with you wholeheartedly. So hold on, guys. Everybody hold on. Hater, hold on a second, because I got so many speakers on stage. So I told Butters, Marsha, I got you, Marsha. I told Butters she can go next. I'm going to go Butters, Marsha, Sarah, and I'll come back around to everybody else. Butters, good morning.
Good morning. I've been listening for a while doing household things. I like the way that you control your stage. Even if there's some bias, you still let people rock and talk. So this is a good segue from what Haydar just was saying. So my question is to any Zionists that are listening, not Jews, Zionists. I'm purposely separating this question, or those that consider themselves Zionists. What has gone on in Syria that is a regime change that you see is now led by Al-Qaeda. So at one point, I thought Al-Qaeda was America's not friend. Now, seems like through proxies, we're working with Al-Qaeda and letting certain things happen. I saw Benjamin Netanyahu go and show a map of what was looking like a greater Israel project. And so I want to know, is that the end game for Iran? If there's a regime change, you want to include them in the greater Israel project as a Zionist? And are we supposed to also work with more Al-Qaeda?
Well, let me just say this. Thank you for your compliment on how I run my room. Please cash in your pink ticket. I'm going to I'll let Mickey. Mickey, do you want to answer her question?
Is that person a Zionist?
100% he's a Zionist.
Okay, great.
Mickey, do you want to answer the question?
To be honest, JB, I'm not going to entertain ridiculous.
Okay, any other Zionists want to answer?
Why is it ridiculous? Let's find out.
Butters, I got somebody that wants to respond. Marsha, go ahead, Marsha.
Yeah, I can answer her and also Haydar, not as a Zionist, but as a Persian. So what Haydar has said was exactly the propaganda of IRGC. They are telling us for 46 years that if there is a regime change in Iran, then there will be chaos. And they have been telling us during the past years that look at Libya, look at Syria, look at Iraq, this will be the future of you. But that's not the case. But because Iran is no Syria, Iran is no Libya, we are a united nation. And culturally, we are different from the Arab countries and from Libya, from Iraq, and from Syria. So this thing will never happen in Iran. And the other thing, the fact that you say that I don't support regime change, what do you say to my question? the last times that Iranian people came to streets peacefully begging for their freedom, asking for their freedom? The regime and IRGC killed 1,500 of them in 2 days. And according to some reports, up to 3,000 of the people in the streets. Is it not a chaos? What do you call this?
Who was she talking to? Because I asked the question and I thought there was supposed to be somebody who was
okay. Hold on. Let me ask you a question before I'll answer your question. But let me ask you this, Sarah. I got you. What is your definition of a Zionist, Butters? What do you think a Zionist is?
Well, my own president, my past president, said you don't have to be Jewish to be one. And then he explained perfectly what exactly that is. And everyone in America has that definition through Biden, which means that they are proud Zionists that are not Jewish. So I was not speaking to anyone necessarily because of their religion. And I think we all here.
So a Zionist is somebody who supports Israel's right to exist. That's exactly the definition.
That's not the only portion of it.
Okay, what's the other portion? Then tell me, teach me.
The other portions of being a Zionist has to do with relating biblical things.
That's
and
not true.
How are you going to tell me they do relate biblical things to it? What do you mean? You don't have to be religious to know this.
Okay.
But they pull from biblical things to expose why they would need to be expansive in that region. It's their so-called
So wait. So let me ask you this. So basically, Israel went into Gaza because it was about land.
I'm not talking about Gaza, love.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Greater Israel Project. So that's what I'd like to,
So
make
what
sure
if
that
your definition isn't correct? What if your definition isn't correct?
Listen,
Amy,
love,
can
it can
I
be whatever
answer
you want it to be. It can be whatever you want it to be. I don't have a problem with talking about the Greater Israel Project, which is what I came to ask about.
Butters. When you say it could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, because I don't want to argue with him, love.
Okay, you don't have to argue with him. But here's the thing: when you say something like that, it says to me that no matter what definition he gives, you're not going to accept it anyway.
I never argued with anybody's definition. They're asking me about mine. I told you what I thought, and now that we're on the same page with whatever it may be to everybody, that Greater Israel Project that BB went there with the map and showed, now that there'd be a regime change in the next place that we've moved on to, because our peoples in America sat around and talked about regime change in different. Let me finish, love. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him, and he went there with the map. No, you're wasting your time with your mic open. I'm not talking to you, love. Let me talk to who I'm speaking to. They're listening. You don't have to. Close your ears.
You're lying.
So when he went there with the map, he basically showed what he would like to do. And if there's going to be regime change in Iran, is that going to, my question was, what's next is what Haydar was asking. So what I'm saying is that going to be a part of the game plan?
No,
to put out
Sarah, I got you, Sarah. But hold on a second, buddy. Put a link in the chat with this Greater Israel Project.
Sure.
Please. But I also want to go to Sarah, who I'm sure she's going to push back. Hello, Sarah. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, JB. I actually specifically came on the stage to talk about the part. I don't know people who say if you topple the regime in Iran, there's going to be another Syria, Iraq, Libya. I don't know if they're uneducated or they just because I've seen some educated people, fall for that propaganda. So I don't know what is the situation, why people repeating that. So I actually had to go look the history of Sharia law. I'm not kidding you, because I have no idea what's going on in Libya. Like, I don't care about every country in the world. I had to go look and see what is the common and differences between Iran and these countries and Sharia law and how long Islam has been, part of their government. So Syria, Libya, Iraq, they've had Sharia law since the 7th century. That's over 1,500 years, people. 1,500 years. Of course, it's going to be difficult to remove Islam from the politics in those countries. Iran, on the other hand, they've only had Sharia law, Islam in the government combined in the last 46 years. Iran has a culture of 7,000 years. Iran has been around for 7,000 years. It's always been a monarchy. Now, I don't even support monarchy, but for people to try to use the fact that Libya and Syria and Iraq ended up in civil war, so Iran's going to have the same thing, is the dumbest argument ever. Because look, Iranian people were supporting and were pro IRGC when they came along. And just imagine how fucked up the whole Sharia law is, that within 46 years, they have lost 90% of their supporters. True or false, they claim their support was like 98% or something like that after the revolution. But what happened is people separate themselves. And just look around. Look around. Why do Iranians not go fight Israel? Why do Iranians don't go bomb and kill innocent people? Because Iranians are not associating themselves, and they don't like any of this that IRGC is pushing on them. That's why IRGC goes funds and train in other countries. It's simple as that. So stop, please stop going on different stages and say, oh, we don't want refugees. We don't want this. The other day, someone's like, Iranians are going to come refugees in Pakistan. Look, Iranians might be racist for thinking they're better than other people, but let me be clear about something. Even if there is a war in Iran, no one's going to go try to become a refugee of Pakistan or Russia. I don't know where people come up with all these stupid things.
Thank you, Sarah.
So I just wanted to clarify that.
Hold
and
on.
let's get one.
JB?
Can you wait a second till she's finished?
Yeah.
We'll land our plane. Thank you. Sarah, you land your plane?
I was going to say one sentence in Butter's response as an Iranian Zionist. There is no such a thing. Israel is not trying to take over Iran. You guys, this is the propaganda of IRGC, and these people are just going around and spreading it. Just shut the fuck up. Why are Iranians not
shut
scared
the
of that?
fuck up.
That was about 15 sentences, but since you're Sarah, I let it go. But before I go to the next speaker, I have to say good morning to my man, King 334 Mob.
Yes, sir.
King,
What's going on, brother? What's going on? Good morning.
Having a very spicy conversation on this Saturday morning. Israel versus IRGC. So I have a question before I go to the next speaker. Sabina, what's your smoke with Sarah? Sarah's definitely, she's a lot of things, but anti-Semitic. She's, hey, I got you, bro. Show a little mic control. I want to ask Sabina a question. Sabina.
Yeah, JB, she called me anti-Semitic, so I just said the same thing back. Because if she can just call me that, I can just call her Brittany.
Okay.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
Okay, so you're pulling pigtails. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go.
She's not a good representative for her own country because she's saying racist stuff. And then look, right now, Whoopi Goldberg was just saying right now, oh, America's very racist. Black people suffer in America, right? And she was saying that about comparing herself to Iran. Let me ask you a question. Why should American, Black, Hispanic, all these groups of people, why should they die for someone who clearly is racist? She literally just said we are superior to Pakistanis. I said you, ma'am. I said you. I didn't say Israel. I said you. JB, can I talk?
Sarah, let her finish.
Okay, so first of all, I didn't mention Israel, right? There are people who are not good representations for their own country, and you're one of them because you just said that, oh, we are not going to become, I wouldn't wish civil war on any country, but for you to say that we're not going to be like those other countries because we're superior to them, you sound like a fucking idiot and racist, by the way.
I didn't say we're superior. I said we have not had Sharia laws in our country for 1,500 years. We've only had it for 40 years. If you want to hear it differently, that's for you. And that's why I call you anti-Semite, because you really are. And
based on what? Based on what?
Based on when I was saying that how Islam is behind all of this, you told me that your friend is looking for a version. Do I want to marry him as a fourth?
I was trolling her because as soon as she found out, as soon as she said, excuse me, as soon as she, do you hate Muslims? Do you hate Muslims? Do you hate Muslims?
Your name every day, people don't.
Do you hate Muslims?
You are.
Do you hate Muslims?
Anti-Semite.
Do you hate Muslims?
Sarah, hold on a second.
No, JB, as soon as you see the language vulgar, gross. This is the problem. As soon as she found out I was Muslim, she started attacking me, and then we went back and forth. But if I respond to her, she decides to say that I'm this and I'm that. She doesn't like Muslims. She looks down on Arabs, and she just asks kissing Israelis and waiting for them to damsel in distress to come save her and cheering them on. You're just a loser and not a good representation for your country.
Well, hold on.
Racist.
Everybody, hold on.
It looks like everybody enjoys my point of view, but
Afghani people deserve to be killed, right? According to you,
Let me
because they're Muslim.
Sabina, hold on a second. Please respect the stage. Thank you. I'm just going to say, listen, Sarah, you got to let me talk, hon. Thank you. So, I've been around Sabina for a few years now. I've never heard her curse before. I'm like sitting here saying, did she just say the F word? I'm shocked. Whatever personal beefs you guys have, please take it to the chat or take it somewhere else. Hold on a second. I want to go to Masha because she's been trying to.
I prefer not to her to talk to me again. Thank you.
Oh, my bad, Masha. Hader has been waiting, and then I'll come to Masha, then Kojito. Hader, go ahead, Hader.
No, I'm just gonna respond to that particular twisted history. If we're talking about Islam, well, Persian Empire was the first one that was actually defeated by Muslims in 632 in what is today used to be Ctesiphon, the ancient city of Ctesiphon, what is now Baghdad, right? Before it became Baghdad, that's the history, right? So Islam has been in Persia longer than it's been in Libya.
When did I say Iranians are not Muslim? I said they didn't have Sharia law.
Don't interrupt me, please. Don't interrupt me. Let me finish my point here, right? So I'm not even either Muslim, Christian, or Jew, or none of this. But the point I'm talking about here is this, right? So that's that, right? So even Islam, so we're talking about Syria. There's no record of showing Syria being a true Muslim country since since the Ottoman, right? After the Ottoman, basically Syria was pretty much a clusterfuck place itself. It became the French autonomous area, and then later on was taken over by a king assassinated by the Assad family, right? So let's not just rewrite history. Let's just say.
Also, do not call the Kurds Persians. We're not Persians. We Kurdish people are definitely not Persians.
Okay.
That's what she called you. Yeah, that's what she called you.
Guys. Hater, I know you hear my voice. So here's how we're going to do it. And if somebody's speaking and somebody else comes off a mic, I'm just going to move you down to the audience. Because now it's getting too confusing. Listen, I get it. Sarah gets really hot. Masha, I got you. Sarah gets really hot. She stands on her square. But we need to show a little decorum so we can have the conversation. Marsha, I'm going to go to Marsha, then Kajito, then Sharif, and then Shipwrecked and Doctor. Marsha, go ahead.
Okay, so I think the discussion went in the wrong direction. So it's not about the religion. It's not about the Jews and Muslims. So when we say that we are happy that about this war between Mullah's regime and Israel, we are talking about fighting against terrorism. We are talking about this ideology that announces jihad and war against Jews and against pagans and against what other people that they can put any label or etiquette on them. So please be careful about this, first of all. So we are talking about terrorism and humanity. And the other thing, so you should know that culturally there are too many differences between Iranians and other nations living around them, the Arab neighbors and other countries around them. And if you don't know this difference, then you will fall to the trap of the IRGC propaganda that has been saying throughout all these 46 years that look at the future of look at the presence of Libyan, look at the presence of Iraq and Syria, and that will be your future if you look for regime change. But that's not the case if you know the cultural difference between Iranians and other countries. So it is not about the religion or these kind of things and superiority. So don't fall to this trap, please.
Thank you, Masha. We're going to go to Kojito. How do you say your name, Kojito? Kojito?
Kagito.
Kagito, my apologies. I'm just a dummy from Brooklyn.
By the way, JB, it looks like that I put the links in the chat for you so you can look at those things while you're talking.
I definitely will. Hey, Butters, I'm going to tell you right now. Somebody just came into the room. He's on the stage. And he's gonna bring it to you. and that's my man El Normal. But let me go to
Me and El Normal are friends.
Okay, let me go to this gentleman. Go ahead, man. You were saying?
Yeah. So I think like there's some confusion going on, and I think like when it comes to Israel and Iran, Iran, I think like people tend to think about it in a more religious act, and I get it, like it's tied politically, but I think like before 1979, they had Israel and Iran, they were cordial, and the reason why, after the revolution, everything went to shit, and that was because Iran didn't like the way the Western world was like handling the situation, and that's because of Shah. He was kind of like pressured from the U.S. and U.K. and they're like signing oil agreements and things like that. And after the revolution, when Shah fled, everything went to shit on terms of the relations between Iran and the U.S. So Israel is now backed. Well, they've been backed by the UK and US, and Israel more so. They weren't on attack against Israel at all, right? And I believe the reason why Israel attacked Iran was due to the fact of the backing of Hamas. And when it becomes between Palestinian people and Israel, that's a whole different story. That's the battle of the land, right? And I think between those two, there was a shadow war going on, and Hamas is playing between Palestine and Iran, and this is who Israel is actually trying to target. But at the very same time, again, Iran. They don't like people that is backed behind the U.S. policies or the UK. So they have that sense of hate due to that. And I don't think I don't think it is about this religious thing. But I'll leave it there.
Thank you. I know it's about land. It's always about the land, guys. We want the land. So I'm going to engage the conversation right now before I go to the next speaker. El Normal, good morning.
Hey there, good morning to you.
So this young lady, Butters, nice PTR by the way, has a question for Zionists, and I know that you're probably the biggest Zionist on this app. So Butters, would you like to have the conversation with El Normal?
Oh, I've done this with El Normal before. El Normal, so basically I'm just asking, when the regime change happens in Iran, would anybody who's a Zionist be interested in expanding the Greater Israel Project in that direction?
Your question is based on two false assumptions. Number one, that regime change is inevitable, or that Israel has the power to effect it. And two, that there is such a thing as the Greater Israel Project. I'm unaware of such a thing. I think this is yet another example of a blood libel against Israel.
That route, Ramon?
I'm not going to be long, my dear.
No, I'm just saying, why would you say that that's not true, though? They all talk about it.
Give me one sec. Quick, hold your questions for the end. I won't be long. So, number two, the idea of this Greater Israel Project is a blood libel. A blood libel is a lie that is used to justify killing Jews. For example, this genocide thing that people accuse Israel of is a lie and a blood libel. Israel has neither the desire nor the plan to commit any kind of genocide. That would be a horrific thing. We invented the word. In fact, it means killing a tribe. We're not destroying the Palestinians. We're getting rid of Hamas. We're at war. They could stop the war by surrendering and giving up our hostages, which they're still holding. Similarly, Israel is not an expansionist country. In fact, when our enemies attack us and we take land, as is our right when they attack us, We are willing to return the land in exchange for peace. And we did so with Egypt when we took the Sinai, which made Israel 1/3 bigger. That was in the 1967 war. 1978 at Camp David with Jimmy Carter, we gave the Sinai back to Egypt in exchange for peace. We offered Syria the same thing with the Golan Heights, which we took when they attacked us from the north. So no, there is no greater Israel project. It is a blood libel used to call us, I don't know what, expansionist, imperialist, colonialist. We are none of those things. We are a decolonial power. Now your question, if you would like, my dear.
I mean, you already put all of the expose of the farce on display right now. Thanks.
I'm unaware of any farce. What is the farce that you refer to?
Where did the concept of the Greater Israel conversation, when did that start? Who began that? Since it doesn't exist.
Since you brought it up, I'd have to say you.
Okay, so you never heard about that through the World Zionist Congress at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Sure.
What are you referring to? Why don't, on the other hand, you promote
Is there such a thing as a World Zionist Congress?
Hang on, ma'am. Hang on. Why don't you give us now, since you raised this in the conversation?
I already put it in the chat. You came late.
Yes.
So look at what I wrote in the
ma'am.
chat.
I'm not late for anything. I'm here of my own free will. I'm not getting paid for this.
Right,
So
but
why don't
scroll
you
back in the chat. I put all the information there.
Butters, my dear. Please tell us in your words, why do you bring up this Greater Israel Project, and what is your evidence? Please tell us.
Deafening silence. Deafening.
Butters, did you want to respond to that?
Actually, I already answered and told him the same thing I told you, is my info is in the chat. And if he can admit that a World Zionist Congress has existed and discussed it, then we can move forward. But I won't play with norms.
I'm not playing. This is the third time. You asked me a question. You seem to feel you're entitled to answers. I was gracious and responded. Now I ask you, what is this project?
You actually brought up something about a blood libel, which I never insinuated. And to be able to have these discussions, you actually have to be willing to be truthful about things. So thank you.
Absolutely. Please set the example now. I was truthful. Now it's your turn. What is this Greater Israel Project, and what is your evidence? Go ahead.
Go to my links in the chat. Educate yourself. Thank you.
So you don't know. Is that fair to say? You have no idea what you're talking about?
No, everybody on stage knows but you. So I put it in the chat for you.
You don't speak for them unless they've hired you. Please tell us, what is the Greater Israel Project, and what's your...
You are the only one that's asking to know. Everyone else said that they knew.
That's because
wait, hold on, Norm. Nobody said they knew. But he's asking you a very simple question. What is the Greater Israel Project? In your words...
Don't be lazy. I put it in the chat, and I've already told JB looked at it.
She can't explain it, JB. She can't.
She can't. Hold on. I moved it down because she's disingenuous. She's intellectually dishonest. You know,
the only thing we know is that she's knowing and she's probably working for the IRGC. That's what we know.
Sano, your mic is too loud, bro. It's too early in the morning. But I want to go to probably the smartest geopolitical person on this app, and that's Dr. Wise. Dr. Wise, good morning. Dr. Wise, put the sheet down. Okay, that's what I thought. Sharif, good morning, Sharif.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, I don't have a good English, but I will try to say what I want to say with the group. First thing, I'm from Egypt, and I suppose nobody here from Egypt to know or to tell the real history between of Israel. I want to call this government. They killing the people in Palestine, in Gaza, and wherever they can kill the people, they are doing. The Jewish people, I'm Muslim, and I don't have a problem with the Jewish people or the Christian people. I have a problem with the Zionist people, the people who killing the people. Even they are Muslim people, I don't like. I hate who kill children, women, men. And religion. I hate what I want to say. What happened now in Iran or in Gaza before was Gaza. In Iran, there is arms, there is guns, there is weapons. They can defend of them. But in Gaza, nobody defend them. So what I want to say, we have to see the truth. Even the Jewish people, if there is a Jewish people in the room now, they have to see the truth, to be a human, to see what is the reality, history. Because all of us, we are human. We have to say the truth, even we are Jewish or Muslim or Christian. There is people die for the reason of political people. They want to control, keep out of the government. They want to do that. So, what I want to say, the Jewish people, some are normal people, or there are Jewish people, normal people. There is a human people, Jewish. There is a human people, Christian. There is a human people, Muslim people. Sorry for.
No, you listen. You're fine. Your English was fine. I understand everything you said. Thank you for your shit. Thank you. So, thank you. We're gonna go to Dr. Baby, then Pikachu, and then Cynic and Shepard and Bruce. Dr. Baby, good morning.
Hey y'all, what's up?
What's up? You tell me. You came to the stage. You want to say something?
Yeah. So basically, I think you know me. So I'm Kurdish. I think many people here know me already. I'm a Zionist Kurdish Nawahid. We're not Persians and we're not Iranians. We don't identify as Iranians. We do not consider ourselves as Iranian. We have actually national anthem that talks about this, that says we're neither Arabs, neither Iranians, neither Turks. There's a reason we do not identify with these names, is because it's our occupiers. So to come to today's world and today's war, which is, Iran war, that have been happening for 45 years, 47 to be exact.
Is she in the Matrix or it's just me?
Yeah, I can't hear her.
Dr. Baby, you're in the Matrix, Doctor. So I'm going to have to come back to you. Good morning, Pikachu. Wait, Doctor, you're in the Matrix. I'm going to come back to you, Doctor.
Pikachu, can you hear me?
JB, you all right?
Yes, Doctor. Yeah, I'm going to come back to you. Let Pikachu go because you're in the Matrix. Because you're in the Matrix. How many times I got to repeat it? I said it 5 fucking times. Clean your ears. Pikachu, go ahead.
Sorry, but can you not scream at me? I'm not doing anything wrong.
Please go, Pikachu.
Thanks. JB, thanks for having me up on stage. I appreciate that. So look, I mean, I just wanted to talk about this greater Israel myth and why it's totally fake and what's made up. I mean, this is a politically weaponized, one of the hundreds of politically weaponized narratives that we hear quite a lot. So you've probably seen that scary looking map online. I don't know, you may have seen it on there was a fake AI image that went around about this map that was on IDF soldiers, that Israel supposedly wants to expand from the Nile to the Euphrates, basically taking over Egypt, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, and much more. It sounds like a Zionist empire plan, right? So, well, look, I mean, this is complete and utter nonsense. So just going back to what Norm said earlier, that the whole program of Israel establishing a decolonized state. So, I mean, look, the phrase comes from actually Genesis 15.18, which is a spiritual covenant between God and Abraham. For Jews, it's a theological idea, not a territorial one at all. Judaism has never had a modern plan to conquer all that land. In fact, most Jewish thinkers treat it as a symbol, not as a call to kind of redraw any form of borders. Now, the biggest issue behind this myth is that in 1982 there was an article by an Israeli writer named Oded Yinon, and he speculated that breaking up hostile Arab regimes might help Israel's security. Was it government policy? Absolutely not. Was it adopted by Israel? Totally no, absolutely. It was just one man's opinion in a fringe journal. That's what came about. But anti-Israel groups ran with it, and they claimed that it was Israel's secret plan. That's how a fringe op kind of became a Zionist blueprint in the eyes of all these conspiracy theorists. So in reality, Israel's actions proved completely the opposite if you actually look at the history of Israel, because in 1979, Israel gave back the entire Sinai Peninsula. And if they really wanted to do the Greater Israel Expansion Plan, they would have taken that and kept it for themselves. And that is a massive area. I mean, they gave that back to Egypt for peace. That alone disproves any idea of expansionism. And also, look, if you look at Israel's walls and borders, they haven't come from religious prophecy. They've come from simply defending itself. Even through peace deals. Coming out of Gaza in 2005. I mean, that's another piece of proof. I mean, I know a lot of people like to disprove, Arik Sharon's plans at the time, but Zionism doesn't mean world domination, folks. It means simply just for Jews. This is just for Jews. It just simply means a safe national homeland for us. Nothing more and nothing less. So I just wanted to be clear, this Greater Israel project is not an Israeli policy, and it's not a Zionist goal, and there's no real plan for it.
Sharif, mute up, man. Sharif, mute up. Thank you. So here's the deal. Where could you go?
No,
Okay, so here's the deal. Somebody came up on stage talking about the Greater Israel Project, and then when Noam pulled her card, said, explain it, she's down in the VIP section. She didn't want to engage. She wanted to gaslight, and when nobody fell for it, she ran away. But Pikachu, let me come back to you in a little bit, because I have to get to the sensitive people on the app.
Yeah, go for it.
Because they're very, hold on, Norm, they're very entitled. So when I explain them 5 times, I can't hear you because you're in the fucking matrix, but then you want to keep going on. Let me run my room. But Dr. Baby, good morning.
I couldn't hear you, JB.
I just say good morning. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is good morning. Can you say good morning back?
No, I'm not sensitive. I think I fought more terrorists than you have, so let's be clear.
You probably have. Did you want to speak on the subject?
Yeah,
I keep crying.
I have.
Okay.
So, yeah, I want to speak to the subject because there is a lot of misinformation that's coming around and going around, which actually is very sensitive time, critical time, and people need to hear this. So right now what's happening is nobody's uprising inside of Iran because nobody wants a Shah to be in the picture or Khamenei to be in the picture. So people saw some hacked television having Shah's face on it, and he was saying, uprise for me, while nobody likes the Shah inside of the Iran. Neither the Persians, neither the Kurds, neither the Bulls, neither the Arabs, neither the Azeris. Nobody likes the Shah. So basically what happened was people did not uprise. Why did they not uprise? Because they saw his face and they were like, oh my God, the Western powers want to bring this piece of shit back. And everybody stopped. Nobody went to the streets, neither moved a needle. The only way for anybody to move a needle in that country would to be a Kurdish uprising. And I will tell you why. Because Zinjan Azadi, Women Life Freedom, started by a Kurdish woman being killed, and the Kurdish towns burned Iran to ashes, like in a lot of areas. Even Iran had to bring Hezbollah in to keep the Kurdish areas calm. So, way that you can take down a regime without the Kurds or the minorities, and the only people who have boots on the ground are the Kurds and the Arabs and the Baluch. The Persians are all in the IRGC themselves. Unless they're going to defect, which they are not defecting from the IRGC and saying that Shah should be back. So therefore you have no other options but to work with the minorities, which they have an opposition, real opposition, not some fake television from Cryosphera in LA, talking about fantasy stories. People have critical time. You don't have time to talk about La La Land story from thousands of years ago, some like fake stories that they sell us online. I'm not here to buy anybody's stories. I'm here to save two people. Okay? Two nations, big nations. And these two big nations need to be heard. And the people who are going around and speaking for the Kurdish people, speaking for the people from inside of Iran, are all grifters. You've been grifted if you have listened to anybody that talks about Shah coming back, because guess what? Nobody has the boots on the ground that is called Shah supporters. He doesn't have an army, doesn't have a command, network, or shadow government. He has zero.
Okay, Dr. Baby, Dr. Baby. Hold on, Sarah, hold on. I want to go to Masha, then Sarah, and I want to give Dr. Baby a chance to reply after they're done. Masha.
JB, can you put me in line too?
I got you. Go ahead, Masha.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, Baby, you said that you don't consider yourself as an Iranian. So why are you so worried about the future of Iran? Don't be worried about that.
Yeah, when you talk about Iranians, you're talking about...
See, this is exactly why I have an issue with you, because you have this entitlement that you could just interrupt her when she didn't interrupt you.
No, I'm asking her a question, because this is a conversation between me and her.
Let her finish, and then Sarah's going to go, and I told you I'll give you a chance to rebuttal. But Emma.
Thank you, BJ. So we Iranians are there, and we'll make our country. So don't worry about it, first of all. Then, as my last sentence or last words here, I would say Iranians are observing the situation very carefully, and they are looking for that specific moment to come out in the streets after Israeli army could clean up the IRGC and the Basij forces from the streets, so there would be no suppression in the streets, and they will finish the job. They have this popular opposition figure who is Reza Pahlavi, the crown prince, and now people call him King Reza II, and the people will bring him in power. Not any foreign country. Let me make it clear to you. He's the most famous and beloved opposition figure in Iran right now. And the people will finish the work, and they will make their country. If you consider yourself as an Iranian, we will welcome you. And that would be your land. And we can make it together in the future. And then if not, then no discussion between us. And that's it. And thank you, BJ, for giving me the opportunity to talk.
Yeah, no, of course, you can speak all the time, but it's JB, not BJ.
JB, did he just call you a blowjob?
Thank you for that.
She did, but she's cute, so I don't care. Sarah, go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, I want to quickly say something for the audience, because a lot of people have no idea what this woman is talking about. So, you know how some Americans, they don't like the president, they're like, Trump is not my president, or Biden is not my president.
That's bullshit.
Hey, whoever's talking, shut the fuck up.
You're nothing.
I'm talking.
You are nothing.
Mute yourself. So you know how some Americans say Biden's not my president? Jim, are you going to move her or mute her?
Can we have one mic on Sarah, please? Thank you.
So you know how some Americans, they say Trump is not my president? We do have about 5 to 10% of Kurds, Baluchis. I'm going to repeat, 5 to 10% of their entire population, they don't want to be part of Iran and they want to separate. As of today, they are Iranian because Kurdistan is inside Iran. And what that 5% say, the 95% do not repeat. I have many, many Kurdish friends on this app, Iranian Kurdish friends, and they're going to come here. If you want, I can ping them in another time, and they'll come here and they're going to tell you that people like her are people who took a few blocks in Seattle, and they called it Summer of Love, remember? What she says is not true. Do not fall for this kind of bullshit. And you know what? Kurdish people, not only they're Iranian, it's just we have different ethnicities. We have Turks, we have Arabs, we have Kurds, we have different ethnicities in Iran. And all of those ethnicities, there's 5 to 10% of them who want to separate. So that's completely bullshit what this lady's saying.
Everybody, hold on. I'll pick at you. Hold on. So, Dr. Babe, I have a question for you, and I'm being serious. I'm just trying to get some clarity. You keep using the word grifter. Well, why are they grifters, in your opinion, Doctor?
Okay, so JB, unlike this lady, we have boots on the ground, and unlike this lady, she has no knowledge what's going on inside. Unlike this lady, I actually have something to lose. I don't live in America, and do not compare Shah King to Trump. It's not even possible. You're comparing two different people. Iranians are not like Americans, nothing like them. Actually, you guys are terrorizing a whole region. America's not terrorizing anybody. So that's first point. Second point is, yes, they are grifter, JB. We actually found out that Shah has been grifting off of everybody and selling everybody a lie about us inside of the country, actually saying, oh, the Iranian people are all my supporters. He has zero supporters. Israel hacked their TV and Shah asked them to uprise, and not even a needle was moved. And that's your evidence that these people are grifters, and especially this lady who has no idea what she's fucking talking about. She lives in fucking America, talking about the Middle East. You're not Iranian. You're an American today. Be proud. You have nothing to lose.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Jesus Christ, ladies. It's fucking Saturday morning. Take a breath. Let me just say something real quick. Anthony, Jordan, Nye, Normal, TC, I got to step away for 5 minutes. Can you guys run it real quick and try to keep some decorum? Any of the mods there? TC, Norm?
I'm here.
All right, guys. I'm going to hand it to you guys for just a few minutes. If these ladies want to continue to pull their pigtails, be my guest. I don't care. I'll be back.
Can we ask her to speak few words in Farsi?
Yes.
First of all,
I want to make sure you're Iranian.
I will tell you. Wait. Let me I'm not going to speak in Gaelic language.
She can't speak in Farsi. She can't speak in Farsi.
چطوری کشکش سارا
That is not Farsi. She has a strong accent. That's not Farsi.
Okay, one mic.
Okay, so she asked me a question, let me answer.
You can't speak Farsi, doctor. You can't speak
Wait,
Farsi.
let me finish. Okay? I was born in 1993. When my family left your fucking regime, Shah regime, it was 1975. 1975, we went to Kurdistan, Iraq.
Did you guys love how I called this bitch out?
I don't, because I don't have to. I'm Kurdish.
Let her speak. Sarah, please.
I'm Kurdish. I don't have to speak your gay language. I'm Kurdish. I have to speak.
The lady is obviously racist.
I don't have to speak.
She's insulting an entire.
I don't have to speak your language. You're nobody. I don't have to speak your language. You're my oppressor. Why should I speak your language?
You're not
your gay
Iranian.
language. I spoke to you in your own language. You couldn't even answer me.
You are Iraqi and you hate Israel.
You left so long ago.
That's why you're supporting IRGC. Shut the fuck up.
To me.
She's anti-Semitic too? Oh.
Did she call me an anti-Semite?
Yeah.
Bitch.
Hang on. Wait, guys. I muted the room for 1 second. Hang on. This is a musical interlude. I'm going to sing to you in Farsi. All right, we'll take down the temperature. You can translate that if you want. Please go one at a time.
That's fine. You can the Palestinian flag in their asses.
Okay, do we need to start a queue? Until JB gets back? Sarah, did you want to have a comeback and after Sarah? Or
I'll just say 2 sentences, Nye. Thank you. I just called her out. Like, I mean, we have a lot of Iranians.
You lied.
We have a lot of.
Okay, hold on.
And I want to tell her too. We have a lot of Iranians. We have a lot of Iranians. Oh my God!
Here, I can speak for myself. Iranians spoken for me for thousands of years. Stop speaking for me.
Doctor, let her finish, please.
And why? This is the same thing on the ground. They try to speak for us.
They oppress them,
I want her to speak for me.
Okay, I understand.
Didn't she say she was raised in Iraq?
And
she tells me I'm not Iranian. Oppressing me is not Iranian.
Ladies, peace.
You're
Hold on,
not
doctor.
in Iran. Shut up.
Okay, hold on.
And why? Sarah's racist. She calls everyone anti-Semitic, and she's saying the same thing about Doctor now.
And I'm a Zionist.
So we should just. So how about
Me too.
Can we just move past this now? Would any other speakers like to join in? Because I don't think
I want to land. She didn't let me talk. Are you rewarding her?
Sarah, let's let Sarah land. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my point of what I was saying is for the audience who don't know about Iran, and even the Iranian Kurds, we do have 5-10% that say, oh, we're not Iran, we don't want to be Iran.
Doctor,
Now, can you move her to the audience so I can talk and then bring her back?
Okay, Doctor, I don't like to move people to the audience. I really don't, but I will.
She's not letting me talk, and I like to get what I'm saying. Like, I want to say this.
Exactly. I just want Sarah to land, Doctor. No disrespect. You can come right back up. Let's just let Sarah land.
Yeah, and why they were saying really bad stuff in the chat, though. They're saying Kurds are dirty and stuff like that.
All right,
And I think Sarah's friends saying these things.
Okay.
Sabina, you're the one who told me.
Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. I didn't say that. Please don't talk to me. Thanks.
Shut up.
The comments are in the chat.
I have an idea. Let's don't mention each other's name. Let's not trigger each other, not necessary. Let's talk about the issues. We have some people from the region, and it'd be interesting to hear what they have to say. I will give you my New York perspective. I'm not as smart as they are on these matters. Number one, we support the Iranian people. They're a beautiful, beautiful people with a great history, great art, great cinema, great music, great food. And we want them to be free and out from under the thumb of this murderous, genocidal Iranian revolutionary, quote-unquote, regime that is now in charge that has spread terror around the world. I'm going to mention just one small thing. I am familiar that the Kurdish people have long wanted a country in self-determination, and it is my personal opinion that people deserve self-determination.
If the majority wants it, Norm. It's 10% of Iran. If the majority wants it.
Okay, I'm not saying one way or the other. This is for you to decide. I'm not
the
from
first grassroots movement of the Kurdish independence started inside of Iran, by the way.
Okay, again, this is for you guys to decide. So if this regime, IRGC genocide regime, falls, the one thing we don't want is for you to be at each other's throats. That's for everybody in tolerance for each other. That's my opinion. I'll mute up.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say,
one mic, please, y'all.
Can I have one mic on me?
Hold up, please. Okay, Sheriff, I got you, y'all. Let Sarah land. If y'all don't let her land, this is gonna go on, and she's determined to get her point out.
I am gonna get my point out. Thank you, and
then we'll move on. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, so this woman who told me that I'm not Iranian, who lived in Iran till my mid-20s, and somehow she, now that I called her out that she's not Iranian, and every Iranian in this room can tell you she's not Iranian, then she says, no, I was raised in Iraq, that's why I don't have Iranian accent. She is not even Iranian. So I want people to know that. And pay attention, all these people who come in these rooms and support IRGC, people who are supporting IRGC, they are all non-Iranians. They're majority. Like 95%, 99% non-Iranian. I just want people to pay attention.
61% of the country is non-Iranians.
Okay, pause. We're gonna go to Sheriff, ladies.
Thank you, mate.
Anyway, before you go, I just want to make something clear. Arabs inside of Iran are not Iranians. Baluch inside of the country are not Iranians. The Kurds are not Iranians. We're different ethnic minorities.
Let's just let Doctor.
We're not Iranians. How can you refer to an Arab, a Hawazi, living inside of Iran as an Iranian? They're not Iranians. Kurds are not Iranians. Baluch are not Iranians. We're not Iranians.
You are the Arab.
So, listen, it's very simple. It's very simple to understand. I do not speak for people who are
cannot decide.
Kurds do not have the right to speak.
We got you. Hold on.
I will speak.
Okay, Nima, no, wait. Sheriff was waiting. We're gonna go Sheriff, and then Nima, you got it. Go ahead.
Thank you. I want to say something. Who gives the direction? Who gives the other government can be control the decision for another countries, even the United States or Europe, or Israel or Egypt or any country? Who gives the control for the other government to control another country. Even in Iraq, in Iran, in Israel, in Palestine, in whatever, whenever. We cannot say that. We cannot say that. We are human. We cannot repeat what the political people said. We are democratic people. We call the democratic people. How we talk about the democracies, and we talk about control another government in another countries. We cannot say that. We cannot say that. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. We're gonna go to Nima. If anybody would like to speak.
My Muslim, Shia, me, whatever you are, we are united and we love our country. It doesn't matter which religion you are. It doesn't matter which culture you have. We are Persian. This lady, I'm sorry guys, I cannot talk very fast. This lady, she's coming, I don't know, she's from Kurdish, Iraqi, she's from Syrian, Kurdish, Turkish. She's coming to this room and she said, oh, without Kurdish, you cannot have a revolution. Guys, we Iranian people from Balochistan to Mazandaran, everywhere we are united. We have one flag, one nation, and we love each other. This lady, she tried to separate us. Lady, please shut up and go to hell, motherfucker. I'm so sorry if I say bad word, guys. This lady, she's not Persian. She's Arab.
Well, yes, I'm not Persian.
Okay, so to the next speaker, no cursing and no insulting people on the stage, please. This is what my understanding is. You have many ethnic groups in this Persian Empire or Iranian Empire, and many of these ethnic groups are speaking out on behalf of their own freedom and independence.
She's not Iranian.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's not the point. It's not the point. This is an open forum. Let's just not speak over each other or insult each other. We can have different opinions, but Americans, this is mainly an American room, no offense, although we're not very educated about your people in your country. We need to understand. I still don't know what a Baluchi person is. I'm only learning about who the Kurdish people are. So you have to, without fighting with each other, you have to educate us, and please don't insult the call names. I thought Daniel was next. Is that fair?
Hold on a second.
No, Nima's next.
Okay, sorry.
Guys, let me just do a quick room reset, and then we'll go by queue. But I definitely want to get Hope in the conversation. Hope you hang out for a little bit so you can get in. Guys, this is Healthy Debates. Israel versus IRGC. I changed it to IRGC because it seemed to bother a few people when I said Israel versus Iran. Pseudo and anti-intellectuals welcome, and we see plenty of them on the stage today. Good morning, Caroline, Rin, I see you. Mike in the house, another Mike. AJ, good morning. Guys, you have a pink ticket, please cash it in. Ludwig, how you doing? I know you're anti-Semitic, that's fine. That's your opinion. So I'm going to hand it back to Nai, who seems to have the cue, and let's keep this civil conversation going.
Okay, really quick. It's on Nima. Who would like to go after Nima? I'll start a queue.
I would at least ask when the queue ended.
Wait, hold on a second. Everybody, hold on a second. Nai, after whoever you just said, going to open after him.
Okay, so Nima, and then what do we say? And then
sometimes.
Okay, so this is what I have. I have Nima, Hope, Cynic, Daniel, and Shep, Rick. Cool? All right, go ahead, Nima.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, who's that? Who said that?
I am here. I'm Nima.
No. Who said, can you ask me?
This is Shamim. Thank you.
Shamim. Okay, got it.
Go ahead, Nima.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Sorry for my English, because my English knowledge is not very well. I just try to say what I want to say. Maybe Sarah can help me. I am Kurdish from Iran, and I would like to say some other Kurdish, like Baby or any other Kurdish from all of the world cannot decide for me. I want to be Iranian because I am Iranian. I want to take my country back from this horrible Islamic Republic. It doesn't matter. Some person like babies say I'm Kurdish. My mother language is Kurdish. My mother language also is Kurdish, but I love Persian language also. I love یه سری جمله رو من نمیتونم. ادبیات فارسی من عاشق
Farsi literature. He says that he loves Farsi literature, even though his language is Kurdish.
Persian culture because they are really nice people. Why should you make a hate between us? It doesn't matter what you want. It doesn't matter when you want to have your own your country. Okay, let's do it. But I want my country, Iran. When you don't want to be part of us, it's your decide. It's not. You cannot speak for me.
Thank you, Nima. I think next in the queue is Hope. Hope, good morning, Hopi.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Fantastic. How you doing? Enjoying this beautiful weather. Enjoying this beautiful weather in New York today.
It's nice today. It's not too hot. It's much hotter on the stage than it is in New York right now. But yes, it's nice. It's not raining. It's not too hot, so I'm liking it. But I wanted to come up. I don't like talking very often on stage, but I wanted to come up because I have to agree with Nima and Sarah that Doctor is not Iranian.
Even this is what they do on the ground too, by the way. This is what they do every day.
Even
they silence us. They try to silence us.
Shut up! It's my time. Shut up! It's my time.
We're gonna take the regime whether you like it or not.
One mic on hold, please. One mic on hold, please. One mic on hold.
Jay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Can you guys put it down until I finish talking, please, or else I'll just go and
no. Hope somebody moved already.
Okay. Thanks. So, Kurdish Iranians consider themselves Iranians. They don't consider themselves Persians, but they consider themselves Iranians. Doctor is a separatist. She's not from Iran. She's trying to create division right now in Iran among the Kurds. Just please be careful when you're listening to these people. And when people who are Iranian on stage tell you that someone's not Iranian, believe them. That's it.
Can I ask you a friendly question with for a friendly answer? Just educate me.
Sure.
The Kurdish people want self-determination, as far as I know. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Kurdish, in Iran, they want to be Iranian. They don't want
in Iran or not in Iran. I just meant in general, they want a country.
In general, the Kurds who are in Iran, again, I'm not Kurdish, but you just heard from a Kurdish person. Kurds who are in Iran want to be Iranian. They don't want to be something separate. Kurds who are in Iraq and in Turkey and all the other Arab countries want to be separated. Iranians have treated, before the IRGC, treated all Iranians, regardless of their religion, their race, or whatever, equally. So no, they don't want to separate. The people like Doctor want to cause this division to make everyone
don't make it personal about her. Because,
okay. Yeah. Well, no, I came up to respond.
That's the whole point.
That's not what I'm asking.
Norma, I came up. I only came up because I wanted to talk about what she was saying. I came up for that particular reason. Because she's sitting there and she's telling all the Iranians on the stage that they're not Iranian, that they're not this, that they're not that, when these people are.
Okay.
I haven't lived in Iran, so if someone tells me you're not Iranian, okay, even though I am, but I wouldn't say that it's everything in my soul because I'm not there. But she has nothing to do with Iran.
All right.
She wants to.
But when I get 10 different Iranians telling me that she's not Iranian and she doesn't support the Iranian people, I kind of have to believe, especially somebody like Hope. Hope never comes on stages.
No, she's very credible. Hope is credible. I know this.
So before we continue with the next speaker, I want to say good morning to Rolo. Rolo, good morning. Good afternoon.
JB, I just want to.
Hold on, L. Hold on, bro.
God, Norm.
Rohan, how you doing?
I'm fine. Hey,
Bro, you are harder to reach than Trump, man. I send you messages in IG, and I just don't get it. I wanted you in here like 2 hours ago, man.
No, mate, I've been busy, but I appreciate it.
How dare you have a life?
God damn it. You know, I'm trying not to have a life and just spending more time on here like I should be. Really interesting topic. I've got somebody I'm going to try and bring in who is an incredible speaker on this topic of Iran. She's got some history with the land, and I'm going to see whether I can get in contact with her and see if she graces us with the presence. So I'll see what I can do here. But look, I understand there are different stories that are circulating about identities in terms of Kurdish and Iranian and so forth. I am not really clear, and I'd love to be able to hear from a few different people on that. If the conversation goes in that direction, all the better. Hey, Norm, great to see you. And let's get on with the show.
Thank you, Rohan. So before I go back to Norm, I brought Dr. back up. Guys, attack the point, not the person. And like I said, look, I go on who I've been around. I've been around the Hope for a few years. I've never heard her say anything that made me look at her sideways. So, but I'm not going to steal somebody's identity if they say that that's who they are. If that's who she wants to claim to be, hey, that's on her. So, Norm, I apologize. I know you had a question or something you wanted to say.
Well, thank you for that, JB. And hi again, Ro. I think the 20,000 foot view, as they say, and I'm not talking about the view from an Israeli fighter jet over Tehran. The 20,000 foot view is that the Iranian people do not want their country to split into, a dozen pieces. As a result of this, they want freedom, but they don't want Balkanization. The way the former Yugoslavia split into Croatia and Serbia and Bosnia and Republika Srpska and all that stuff. So they want to keep their country, their diverse, multi-ethnic country together, but they want to get rid of this repressive genocidal regime. So this is the interesting question. Sometimes it takes a totalitarian dictatorship with authoritarian tendencies and secret police in order to keep all these different ethnic groups together. So the question is, can Iran sustain itself and offer equal rights and freedom to its people without splitting up into a bunch of different pieces? I think that's what I'm hearing here. That's all I wanted to say.
But Israel is not even doing that in Israel with Palestine.
I want to.
I'm willing to discuss that, but that's yes. The Palestinians do have
one mic.
Wait, let me just finish responding. Yes, everybody in Israel has completely equal rights under the law. So your comment was off base, but go ahead.
Wait. Hold on a second. No, you can't just walk in and I know you got that energy, bro, but we got a queue going on. So, but I want to give Doctor a chance to say what she had to say. Doctor, you got a minute, and then I'm going to hand it back to Naya, who has a queue. Thank you.
No, of course. I just wanted to say that the Kurds, vast majority of time, ask for a federal government where there is a decentralized type of a government, like a federal government like America, to have the right to speak their own language, to have their own identity, to be recognized as humans, as the Kurdish people, not some bunch of Iranians who their resources being stolen for over 100 years, and their cities, literally, some of them do not even have basic human rights or water. So the Kurds have asked for separation, and the first time happened in 1946 until the Shah annexed it and killed the leaders. And then the second time it was during the second Shah, which they also asked again. They were betrayed and killed again. And the third time it was with the Khamenei, who also lied about it, who said that he's gonna give rights to the Kurds, and actually he killed them, and it was 10,000 of bodies being hanged and killed. So the Kurds have an experience with this Iran thing, and that's why the vast majority of the Kurds are so sick and tired of this narrative going around saying that they are Iranians, because the Kurds died to not be called Iranians.
Doctor, can I ask you a question? Simply? So a lot of, I mean, we've shared space before, but I don't know you, obviously. But why are so many people who I know are Iranian saying not even Iranian? I mean, you're getting so much smoke, and I can't understand it. Why is that?
So the Kurds have been oppressed by Iranians for a long time. You have to understand, they cannot just give away their oppressing ideologies against a nation that they have oppressed so many years. They will not give up on attacking a person whenever they speak. They kill us literally. When we speak up inside of Iran, we get killed for it. So you have to understand what's happening on the stage is same exactly what's happening.
She lied. She really lied.
What I like? Google it. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Search yourself. Don't believe me. If you don't believe me, search for yourself.
Hold on, Doctor. Do me a solid. Just put a couple of links in the chat to back up what you're saying.
Yes.
I just want. Thank you so much. But before I go to Nye, who has a queue, Anthony, are you there, Anthony, by any chance?
Yes, sir.
Anthony Edwards. Man, I just want to say thank God we're not having a race conversation today. So I wanted to say. I'm gonna go to Nye. Nye, you got the queue, hon?
Okay, sure. Cynic was next, but I don't see him in the room, so we're gonna go Daniel, Shipwreck, Shaman. Anybody want to speak after Shaman? Sano, I see Sano blinking. Anybody after Sano?
Oh, put Doug on that list, please.
Who? Thug. Okay. And for the record, Dr. Baby, we won't be, if we keep dropping you to the stage, the mods only have so many invites before we exhaust our invites. So please be cool so you can continue to participate in the conversation, because if you keep getting dropped, we might not be able to bring you back up.
Getting dropped, but why don't you just drop some Iranians for attacking me constantly?
I understand, no, but I'm not the one dropping you, just so you know. I dropped you one time. The other times I did not. And I think you're only dropped because you interrupted.
That was me, and that's right.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I drop her is because she doesn't have mic control. But if she's cool, I'll let her speak all day. I don't give a shit.
Okay, so we're going to Daniel. Go ahead, Daniel, and after Daniel is Shepwreck.
Thank you, Nye, for keeping the queue. I know it's not fun, so thank you. At this point, I don't want to derail the conversation somewhere else. And we're talking about more like internal Iran things. So I'm just gonna say that what the Israel is doing is about removing threats, and it's a great opportunity and a one-in-a-lifetime chance for the Iranians to be liberated. But at the end of the day, it will not be anyone's decision against the Iranian people. Except the Iranian people. They will have to make up the move. They will have to put this last nail in the regime's coffin. It will not be done by any outer forces. But because this conversation is right now on internal Iranian people, so I will maybe come back again later when we're talking more like geopolitics and stuff like this.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Go ahead, Shepwreck.
Hey, thanks. This kind of works out well because we have a lot of Iranian nationals in the room. And to kind of go off of El Norman's talk about the totalitarian governments within that region of the world, having spent 3.5 years of myself in Iraq through those wars and watching the new government come in place, and then towards the fallout, seeing the fall of the regime, is there a reason or something you could kind of pose to us where the same thing wouldn't happen in Iran if for this conflict does facilitate a regime change, and why there is such a propensity for a totalitarian government to work so well in that part of the world?
Let me just ask you, who are you asking that question to?
I was asking it to the Iranian nationals because we had some Kurds in there, and there was a couple other as well. Yep. I just, like I said, not being super knowledgeable about Iran and that particular country, but having seen it firsthand in other parts of the Middle East and seeing it vicariously through news and other channels for other countries outside of Iraq. Just wondering why the totalitarian government seems to be kind of the working system over there, and there has been multiple revolutions in different countries, and it seems to kind of come back to that. So that's what I was going to get an insight from nationals there and how they're going to keep it from happening there, like it has in so many other.
Any Iranian nationals on stage want to answer that? Flash your mic, please.
I honestly didn't understand his question.
Sarah, he's saying, what assurance do we have that if this regime fell, that it wouldn't break into a million pieces like Iraq, and that something even worse than what we have now would fill the vacuum. Is that fair shit that I expressed to your question?
Yes, that's a good one. And then also, like, what are your insight as to why totalitarian governments work so well in that area, and why, when there is different forms introduced, that they typically fail? Like in Iraq, there was 2 or 3 different instances of governments that went through into place that all couldn't necessarily hold the power, so to say.
Yeah, so I can answer that question, though, but I do believe I talked about this earlier, though. Iran, they have 2,700 years of monarchy, and in the last 46 years, we had their IRGC. They did not ever have Sharia law in Iran, even though majority of Iranians are Muslim. Their religion and state were not mixed until 46 years ago. So to compare Iran to its neighboring countries, I'm not trying to be racist. I know people are going to say that, but they're just different, because the neighboring countries, Iraq, Syria, Libya, like all these countries that we saw the civil war in them, they've had Sharia law from the 7th century, from the 700 years. So it's like, what, 1,500 years or something like that, 1,300 years. It's just different. As far as how do you know it's not going to like break a civil war, you never know. How do you know? Nobody can say. I mean, unless you have a crystal ball, you can't tell that. But the one thing you can be sure is that majority of Iranians, they are nationalists, though. Even though earlier we had, like, you know, people on the stage saying that, oh, like, I'm Iranian Kurd and we want separating, blah, blah, blah. We do have about 5 to 10% of the Kurds, they want to separate, but they're not more than 10%. And the Kurds, Iranian Kurds on this app, they block those people. They don't even allow them in the Farsi rooms that they open themselves. We have about 5 to 10% of Baluchis that they want to separate. We have about 5 to 10%, maybe more of Turks. Maybe the Turks are like closer to 20, 25% who want to separate. But the majority of Iranians, they don't want the country to break. And this has been one of the biggest propagandas IRGC has used in the last 46 years to stay in power, because that is how nationalist Iranians are and how much they want to stay together. They've always said, if we go, Israel and West, they want to separate you. Israel wants you separated. West wants you separated. You know, and everybody knows this. Those Iranian Kurds know this. If they separate, it's going to make it weaker. Name one country that split into pieces and it didn't get weaker. So that is my answer, you know, but there is no real guarantee for what you're asking.
Excuse me, my name is Darius. Can I say something? My car is double parked, guys.
Darius, one thing, I know you like you, but please don't curse out people, okay? Don't go by name. Just talk about the issue.
No. God love you, sir. No, I never do that.
Yes, God love you. Well, you just did that last time you were up, if you recall. God love you.
You see, God, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for this room. Really, guys, we love you. Guys, I want to tell you with all of my bottom of my heart, I want to say Iran is one part. If somebody want to try to separate us, we have a hot bullet for his brain. You don't like Iran, please go. Please, whatever you want to do. But we don't give it your land, my friends. This land is belong to Persian. You know, this belongs to over 3,000 years, 7,000 years. You think you want to separate it? Go ahead, go to hell. Okay, I'm sorry if I say bad word. Guys, we are one nation. We are one flag. We are not, listen, we have a Jew, we have a Christian, we have a Muslim, we have different language in my country. All welcome. We love them. But they want to be separated. We have a hot bullet for their brain. I'm sorry, guys, if I say something.
Okay, I sent him down. Twice on this stage, he threatened to murder somebody.
He didn't threaten to murder anybody. He was saying if you try to
separate, he has a hot bullet for their brain.
Right. No. If they try to separate their country, he did not.
All right. Next opinion. We don't have to listen to somebody threatening to put a bullet in somebody's brain. Yeah.
Hey, doctor, I spoke so many times. I haven't spoken even once. So right now you
Hold on a second. Everybody mute up. First off, Sam, now you're lying because you spoke earlier. So I complimented you on your PTR. And I'm going to tell you why I'm giving Dr. Grace, even though I don't really know this lady. It's because she's standing on her square. And she seems to speak for a segment of whoever her people are. I don't know who she is and who her people are.
I know who I am.
Hold on a second. No, I don't. But I'm going to give you 30 seconds because you have speakers that haven't gone yet, and then I'm going to go back to now to run the queue. Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, you forgot who I am, but you know me. But okay, so basically, yes, Persian Empire was a decentralized government for one simple reason. They had different kingdoms under the Persian Empire because these were not the same people. They were not all Persians. They had multiple kingdoms under the Persian Empire. Same like today, Iranian Empire, who occupied all of these lands, are actually not all Iranian Persians. Persians are a minority when you look at the numbers of the people inside of Iran. Persians make up 27 million, all of the country. Then you have 25 million Azeris, then you have 18 million Kurds, then you have Iranians. Kurds are not Iranians. Definitely Turks are not Iranians. Then you have the Persians who call themselves Iranians. Then you have assimilation tactics that happen over the years. Some people do call themselves Iranians because they are afraid to even speak for their identity, just like when the Jewish people were under different countries and empires, they had to say some of the things about themselves that they did not even agree with. So vast majority of the Kurds do not want to be called Iranians. They want to be called Kurdish from Kurdistan.
Maybe Iraqi Kurds, not Iranian Kurds. You're not
Iranian
Kurds.
Sarah.
No,
Let me jump in here. I'm going to jump in here real quick, okay? Sarah, I'm giving you a lot of grace. And guys, do me a favor. Don't mind anybody. Thank you very much. Let me run my room. So land your plane, doctor, and then we're going to go to new stuff.
Of course. So listen, my family ran away from Iran. Half of my family. Some of them ended up in actually America. Some of us ended up in Kurdistan, Iraq, which they gave us an asylum, our Kurdish families. So we Kurds are all same people from Kurdistan, Iraq, Kurdistan, Turkey, Kurdistan, Syria, Kurdistan, Iran. We're all one people. We are Kurdish from Kurdistan. We are divided into four. There was actually in 1920 to give us a country, but then Sykes-Picot happened and they divided us into four. We're not Iranians, we're not Iraqis, we're not Syrians, and we're definitely not Turks. There was one of the first independent movement actually started from inside of Iran, Mahabad Republic, which was one of the first independent Kurdish self-governing era. And we were slaughtered by the Shah, and that's why you don't know about us. You don't know about my people because we were killed to not be known. And every time I speak, you see how Iranians are jumping on my throat like crazy people, like inside of Iran, how they kill us just for saying that we're Kurdish. No, because
That's why because when you lie, no. Hey, wait a second. Hang on. We're not going to do this. There's one mic policy in here. Okay, I don't care who is